Everyone knows the legend of Phoenix. It is the city of fire. It is a city where the pavement melts your shoes, where the sun is a physical weight, and where air conditioning is a requirement for life. We've spent years documenting the heat, the dehydration, and the brutality of the summer sun. But there is another Phoenix, a Phoenix that emerges when the sun goes down in January, a Phoenix that the travel brochures and the golf resorts never mention. It is a city of bone-chilling cold. The desert is a land of extremes. The same lack of humidity that allows the temperature to soar to 115 degrees during the day allows it to plummet when the dark takes over. The heat escapes into the atmosphere like a ghost, leaving behind a vacuum of cold air that settles into the valley floor. In 2025, as the housing crisis explodes and pushes thousands more people onto the streets of Maricopa County, this winter reality has become a silent killer. We are not talking about snow. We are talking about a damp, piercing chill that drops into the 30s. For a population that owns only t-shirts and shorts, for bodies that have been exhausted by the summer heat, this cold is a shock to the system. It is a biological ambush. Welcome to Phoenix Homeless Crisis 2025. Cold nights, tents, and desperation in the desert. Today, we are going to investigate the winter paradox of the Sonoran Desert. We will sit by the toxic trash fires that burn all night in the alleyways of downtown. We will track the gray wave of seniors shivering in their cars, and we will expose the deadly reality of hypothermia in a city that is famous for heat stroke. This is the uncomfortable truth about the winter in the valley. To understand the danger, you have to stand on Van Buren Street at 3 a.m. in February. The temperature reads 38 degrees. That might not sound lethal if you are from Chicago or Minnesota, but in Phoenix, 38 degrees is a catastrophe. Why? Because nobody is dressed for it. We walked through the remnants of the Zone, the sprawling encampment area near downtown. In the summer, this place smells of rotting food and melting tar. In the winter, it smells of smoke, thick, acrid chemical smoke. To survive the night, people burn whatever they can find: pallets, tires, plastic bottles, styrofoam. We saw a group of men huddled around a shopping cart that had been turned into a fire pit. They were feeding it chunks of plastic insulation stripped from a condemned building. The black smoke billowed into their faces, coating their lungs in toxins. But they didn't move. They couldn't. The fire was the only thing keeping their blood moving. We spoke to a man named Elias. He was wrapped in a thin, dirty comforter that he had found in a dumpster. He was shivering so hard his teeth were audibly chattering. "People think the desert is hot," Elias stammered, holding his hands over the toxic flames. "But the desert is a liar. The sun tricks you. It warms you up just enough to make you sweat, and then the night comes and turns that sweat into ice. I've seen guys go to sleep in a t-shirt because they were drunk, and they wake up blue, or they don't wake up at all." This is the medical reality: hypothermia. In a dry climate, dehydration is the enemy. But in the winter, the enemy is the inability to retain heat. The homeless population in Phoenix is physically depleted. Months of extreme summer heat have damaged their organs and weakened their immune systems. They have no body fat. When the temperature drops, they have no reserves. We visited the emergency room at Valleywise Health. The doctors told us a disturbing truth: they treat more hypothermia cases than people realize, and the recovery is painful. It's called the rewarming shock. But the cold doesn't just hurt the body, it hurts the mind. The cold prevents sleep. You cannot get deep restorative REM sleep when you are shivering. So the population becomes sleep deprived, hallucinating, and erratic. The psychosis we see on the streets, the screaming, the fighting is often fueled by weeks of freezing insomnia. And then there is the gray wave. We have tracked the rise of elderly homelessness across America, but in Phoenix, the winter hits them the hardest. We drove out to a Walmart parking lot on the edge of Mesa. It was silent, except for the hum of the highway, but in the back rows, we saw the sedans. The cars of the newly homeless seniors. We tapped on the window of a 2015 Ford Focus. The glass was frosted over with condensation from the breath inside. A woman named Martha rolled it down an inch. She was 72 years old. She was wearing 3 sweaters and a beanie hat. "I can't run the engine," she whispered, her breath steaming in the cold air. "I don't have enough gas. If I run out of gas, I can't get to my doctor's appointment. So I just sit here and wait for the sun." Martha has arthritis. The cold makes her joints lock up. By morning, she is in so much pain she can barely open the car door. She's a prisoner of her own vehicle, trapped in a refrigerator on wheels. "I moved to Arizona for the warmth," she said, a tear freezing on her cheek. "Everyone said it was good for old bones. They didn't tell me about the nights." This is the tragedy of the Arizona winter. The infrastructure isn't built for it. The shelters are designed for cooling. They have massive AC units, but often lack adequate heating or blankets. The city is set up to prevent heat death, so when the freeze comes, the system is caught off guard. We traveled further out to the drainage canals and the dry riverbeds, the washes. In the summer, the washes are dry and hot. In the winter, they are damp and deadly. The cold air sinks into these low-lying areas, creating pockets of freezing temperature that are 10 degrees colder than the street level. And then there is the rain. Winter in Phoenix brings the Pacific storms. When it rains in the desert, the temperature crashes. A wet sleeping bag at 40 degrees is a death sentence. We found a camp in the Salt River bed. It was a muddy, miserable collection of tarps. The people here were trying to dry their socks over a propane burner. Trench foot, a condition usually associated with World War I, is common here. The feet get wet, they get cold, the circulation stops, and the tissue dies. We met a young couple, staggering out of the brush. They were soaking wet from a storm the night before. They looked like ghosts. "We just need to get dry," the girl said, her lips pale. "Just dry, please." But where do they go? The coffee shops kick them out. The libraries don't open until 10 a.m. The public bathrooms are locked. So they walk. They keep moving to generate body heat. You see them at dawn, walking aimlessly down Camelback Road, not going anywhere, just walking to keep the blood from freezing in their veins. The Walking Dead aren't zombies, they are people trying to stay warm. The city of Phoenix has launched heat relief programs that are world famous, but the winter relief is a patchwork of charities. We saw volunteers handing out sweatshirts and hot coffee from the back of SUVs. One volunteer, a retired nurse named Sarah, told us, "It breaks my heart. In July, I hand out water, and they are dying of thirst. In January, I hand out blankets, and they are shaking with cold. There is no safe season for them. There is no respite. It is 365 days of survival." Sarah pointed to the glittering skyline of downtown Phoenix, where the office buildings leave their lights on all night. "Look at that," she said. "All that electricity, all that heat, empty buildings, and right here on the sidewalk, a man is freezing to death." As the sun begins to rise over the Superstition Mountains, the sky turns a pale, cold pink. The frost on the windshields begins to melt. The city wakes up. The commuters, in their heated cars, drive past the people on the curb, drinking their hot Starbucks, complaining about the chill. They don't see the woman who didn't wake up in the park. They don't see the man whose toes are turning black. They don't see the reality of the desert winter. Phoenix is a city of illusions. The illusion of water in a desert. The illusion of endless summer. The illusion that if you just ignore the problem, it will go away. But the cold is real, and it pierces through the illusion. We cannot change the weather, but we can change how we treat the people exposed to it. We can acknowledge that a tent is not a home and a sleeping bag is not a solution. The people of Phoenix are tough. They survive temperatures that would break most of us. But everyone has a breaking point, and for many, that breaking point comes not in the fire of July, but in the ice of January. Thank you for watching this investigation into the cold crisis of Phoenix. It is a story that goes against the grain, but it is the truth on the ground. If you believe that housing is a human right, regardless of the season, please asterisk, asterisk, like asterisk, asterisk this video. It helps us shine a light in the dark. And please, asterisk, asterisk, subscribe, asterisk, asterisk, to asterisk, asterisk, America's Uncomfortable Truth, asterisk, asterisk. We will continue to document the struggle from the heat to the cold. Leave a comment below. Did you know how cold the desert gets at night? Stay warm, look out for the vulnerable, and never stop demanding the truth.